for disclosing our data. Is it that the bankers disclose our data when we key in our Aadhaar data to them or PAN data to them? I get a lot of messages, SMS messages. I do not know how do they access my information, my number and all this. Where do they get such access to my data?
Very good question. Access to the data is got by every fiduciary, whoever may be. He may be a government, non-government. Today we do not have a law in place which bars them from sharing. That's the law we wanted. Personal data privacy protection bill is for that, to protect your privacy aspects. Secondly, they are not taking enough security systems to protect the data. They are taking it as a casual thing. They are not very, very serious. For example, when you go to a hospital, they are not supposed to disclose to anybody else, but that fellow will sell that data. That's what I'm telling. That is the problem here. There, the fiduciary liabilities is not fixed by the government. Government should make a law that the fiduciary, when he collects the information from the principal, has to protect. If there is a leakage, tomorrow you can go and approach a court of law for claiming damages. That's what the law should make it. That law we do not have as on today. That's what we propose for. The FDPPA, which they mentioned at the end, is an organization of all the professionals. We have more than 500 professionals all over India have joined hands in Bangalore, and we have opened it 3.5 years ago, and we have made standards for privacy which can be adopted today if the law comes to that level. Professionally we have made it and made it freely available as on today for others to achieve that. But nobody is willing to adopt it because there is no law. Today, if there is no law, nobody will follow. Today, SBI's carelessness has made your information go to the dark web. Not only that, every step, even social media is not responsible. Recently, we have come out with the intermediary social regulations, isn't it? There also, only when somebody objects, he will stop. But by that time, the whole world would have seen and they would have downloaded it. There is a global blocking that is allowed under the law. But is it possible to globally block a issue? And even if you block it, it would have been already downloaded by somebody and they would have sent it to dark web for a money. It's all money today. And therefore, I think I have not suitably answered you. One-to-one I will explain you even in more detail. But for this audience, I think I have answered you, sir.
I will reach you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, sir.
Regarding leakage of data, for example, I go to some private organization. If you go to government organizations, there are certain ethical or some rules, code of conduct for them not to reveal that data and other things. What is the action taken by the government regarding these non-government organizations who are leaking the data? That is item number one.
Yes.
That is question number one. Question number two, you remember, I think we are of the same generation. Before releasing the movies, earlier there was a system called censor board. They used to censor, they used to look into the movie, they have to cut off the unwanted scenes and other things. That system was there. Because of the social media, anybody can upload any type of videos and other things. Will it not cause an anti-effect on the upcoming generation? And what is the law in this angle?
Yeah. Same question I am asking you because we have not made the law. That is the situation. What are the thoughts of you is the one which is there in the PDPA bill where you read Sri Krishna Commission's report. They have clearly pointed out these privacy aspects have to be eliminated. There is a total indiscipline that is going on. It may uproot even nations. To that extent, there is liberty given there which is unethical and anybody can be exploiting anybody. Anybody. Your health information, if it comes to me, I can play with it. If your insurance details come to me, your bank details come to me. But there is an ethical standard to be maintained. But they don't maintain because there is no law. They are trying to have some cyber security measures, but they are not sufficient. They are not much worried, even if there is a harm conducted. They don't report to CERT where they have to do. Whatever you are saying, these are all illegal things that have been allowed because there is no law, proper law in place. That is the biggest worry as on today in India. Even when the law comes, law is not the remedy. To be with the law, they have to technologically upgrade themselves. Unless those people, even starting from a small fellow till a government agency which collects all Aadhaar, even Aadhaar was also said to be leaked sometime, isn't it? So these people should become more responsible and they have to update their cyber security measures. Please, sir.
I'm apprehensive whether law can really protect, because law at best, if the person is not following the law, he can be punished and brought to the court of law, and then he undergoes punishment. And who is afraid of law, sir? Who is afraid of law? Now criminal laws are there.
Yes.
People who murder will be hanged. Murders have stopped.
Yes, yes.
Any number of laws are there, but crimes have not stopped. Sir.
Yes,
Crimes are on the rise.
even if the laws
People
are
are
there,
not afraid of law.
Exactly, you are right. I do not deny it. Even law, when you go to a court of law, it takes 20 years, 15 years to decide.
Average number of years in India is 32 years to settle a case. Recently there was a case, 97-year-old man was brought to court.
Yes.
And the judge asked, why have you brought this 97? Sir, when he was 54 years, he committed a rape.
Yeah.
54. Now he is 97. What punishment can the judge give him? He said, get lost from here.
Yeah.
Because he collapses and dies there itself.
You are right. That's what I'm telling. The systems, the law is not catching up. The systems are also not catching up because there is a total laxity. There are commercial interests which are playing. Commercial interests are playing the role and they are making it. At least if there is a law, there is some ethics that will be driven. Today's society is also to be driven by ethics only. You take not only cyber law, you take your environmental law. Till last 2 or 3 decades, there was no problem for the environment. 30 years ago, I used to drink in my water tank today. Today, when I went for my jatra last week, it was horrible. They said, no, you have to take a filtered hot water. What a calamity I have done. I say, I have been developed and I have to clean it and drink. That is the development. When the nature gave me clean water, I don't have any mechanism to keep it clean there in its natural one, and we call that it's a development. Why do you want that kind of development to invent something rubbish again to clean it? So when you look in, the total absence of ethics is the criteria.
Sir, laws can be enforced. Ethics cannot be enforced.
That's what I'm telling.
And
Ethics,
second thing is,
yes.
laws and ethics are parallel lines. They cannot meet each other.
Exactly.
Until ethics is practiced, you can't enforce it.
How to practice the
Yes.
ethics? That is the problem we are all facing. We have to become conscious keepers. That is the only way. That's the last answer I told you.
Lifestyle is one of the factor for practicing ethics. Our lifestyle,
Yes.
fear of God, fear
Exactly.
of good and bad, all
Yes.
these things are the media to practice ethical
That is the
practice.
final solution we have. That's why we have to build proper humanity, human beings. That is the requirement to protect. You don't require law. You require human beings to be created. We want parents to guide their children in the proper moral methods to be adopted. That is the only solution. I hope, Krishnaji, I have answered. Sir, I could not get your name, sir. Your name, sir? Rao. Ram. Yes. Krishna Rao. Next.
Sir, yes, sir, here.
Any questions?
I have a question, sir.
Shall I take it after a minute?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I will complete this talk so that I will give you the full narrative so that it is easier for you. So get back to the earlier one slide. Zero trust means don't trust everything or trust everything. Let it be the insider, outsider, whoever may be. Whatever your protocols are there, ask them to follow. Don't treat any VIP culture or any such thing to happen as far as cyber security is concerned. Even VIP of the VIP is coming, take cyber security and seriousness and see that it is done. Recently I went to DRDO, that it took nearly 15 minutes for me to enter their premises. This IAF premises also. They even scanned my iris test. All that they did. I appreciated them. That is what is required. They don't allow your pen drive to be put in there. I said, wonderful. And he said, you send it through network. They cleaned it and then used it. Because they are worried. Because all their defense systems are based on the cyber. For me, waiting 15 minutes is nothing. But my country must be safe. That is the ethical aspect, one we should know. Everywhere, you should start practicing it. Even in your classroom, you should say, sir, send it by email. Then download it, use it. Start doing it now and here. That's how cyber security practices should be done. There must be zero trust. Next, ethics in cyber security. The only relief for every problem, let it be environmental, cyber, IPR related, or property related. For everything, what we require is the ethics, the morality we should have. We should be socially responsible to each other's calamity. If I start throwing something here, automatically it becomes dirt, but I should know I should not throw it. That it is very difficult to practice in India, but in other countries they have started practicing, and they are practicing from days of yore. I do not know. We are said to be the highly moralistic and ethic society, but as far as the behavioral aspects are there, we are not. Practically, we have lost that ethics of the days of yore. Kindly get back. I have more time here. The sensitive personal data they were hired to protect. So it's imperative that employees in these fields have a strong sense of ethics and respect their privacy of your customers. That's what I told it here. Everybody, even let it be a small hotel, he has to say, no, I will not give my data. How many hotels came? How many took ordered masala dosa? How many ordered this one? No, I will give you how many numbers and what time and all that, but I don't give you the name of the person. I don't go is this one. All that, pseudonymization. Pseudonymization of data is that. No doubt you can commercially exploit it, but don't have personal identifiers in them. Remove those personal identifiers by anonymization or pseudonymization. Either way. Therefore, you can do commercial evaluation of those data, but use it with a sense of morality. So, strong ethical core is necessary. It is not for only the human beings. That ethical core is also important for the states. Last slide. Next slide. Today, this is the problem. UN group experts have given all these details which you can read. Renewed efforts to promote responsible state behavior. Is it possible? You have seen the warring people now that's going on. They don't listen to anybody because each one has his own commercial interest. Each one has his own commercial interest. Nothing else. And therefore, unless that comes in. Next, last. Time is over. Mine is over. 1 minute only. I speak of two issues. Going to my ancient texts, I get this mandala. Mandala is the place of doing yajna should be kept in a particular way. Similarly, the computer mandala should be in the same place. Would you agree with me? So it's the mandala's strict protocol we should maintain as far as cyber security is concerned. And prajna, we should become pragnavanta prajes. The people who are working across that, within that, should be with prajna. With this, I come to an end of my talk. Last question by my friend.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Earlier, you mentioned about GDPR. I have a question related to that. Especially the current government from 2014.
I'm not able to get you. Some old age problem. Come here. Aja. Cannot be a distance education.
So you spoke about that GDPR earlier. So my question is, when the European countries and especially the US are so strict about the privacy and data protection, the Indian government, especially the current government and personally the Prime Minister is he's telling everybody to go digital. Why is the Indian government not able to pass the bill, the data protection and the privacy bill? And we have also seen when the data information from social media sites like Facebook, Google were leaked, the American Congress, they brought in Sundar Pichai and Mark Zuckerberg. They questioned him. They asked him why it is happening. Why is India not able to do that?
In this, I have written 2-3 articles which will I forward you. But in brief, I will try to answer your question also. Okay? I have asked these questions. I have resolved them in detail. The first reason is there is a kind of a psychological, this one in the Indian industry field. The same industry, when they are in their branches in the GDPR, they are ready to follow. In USA, they are ready to follow. But in India, they do not want. The reason is best known to them. I can say, commercial interests of those industries. Secondly, you are talking about government not interested, which I do not agree. If you go to Puttaswamy judgment, Supreme Court was clearly said, Article 21. What is that Article 21? Right to life includes right to privacy, isn't it? In that Puttaswamy judgment, Puttaswamy is a petitioner. He is not a decision maker. He is a petitioner. When he appealed looking into these Aadhaar projects, they said, yes, if it is leaked, who is going to pay the damages? The entire country's, this one is probable. There, the government, without the help of law, had started taking the identifiers of every Indian citizen, which is wrong, which was also held rest. But there, they gave a undertaking in the court of law. Government of India is interested in protecting the privacy of the people, and by that time they had already declared Sri Krishna Commission. Sri Krishna Commission has given wonderful report. It has given a very good PDPB 2018. 2019 it was placed on the parliament also, and in up to 21 it was withdrawn after the JPC, because there were too many people who did lot of amendments. More than 100 amendments were suggested. It was impossible for the government to implement it. And therefore, they wanted to come with a new law with, in the meanwhile, I told you another commission, Chris Gopal Krishna Commission, if I am right. There, they spoke about using this personal data, converting them into non-personal data and using them as assets